Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about Donald Trump's promise that if elected, he, quote, will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Let's unpack this a bit. So first, on the facts, you'll notice everyone had talking points before the indictment was unsealed, before anyone knew about it. Anybody, and that includes Republicans, a number of Republicans at this point, who discusses the charges expresses concern over their gravity and Trump's compromise of the national security. But everyone who toes the Trump line says first, you'll hear it every single time, puts Biden in there. So Biden's appointment, Biden's corruption, etc. That's what the Jim Jordans of the world and Trump say, and what they'll continue to say. And it's, a tricky situation because he's going to scream it again and again and again. The White House's clear strategy is to say nothing and stay above that fray. And yet, can Trump keep pounding on that message until people actually believe it? Because on the facts, it is ludicrous. It's 100% counterfactual. Biden was completely hands off the Department of Justice, and Garland was 90% hands off the special prosecutor who was put into place precisely for this reason. So there'd be not even the mildest possibility of claiming politicization. But no facts like that will get in the way of Trump's bullhorn. Biden, where it's reported, didn't even find out about the indictment except from the news. So when Trump and all his jackals say, again and again, it's Biden's doing, it couldn't be a more bald-faced lie. The facts are really the smallest part of the problem with what Trump is saying. He is proclaiming from the rooftops the campaign promise to eviscerate norms of conduct between the Department of Justice and the White House that pretty much arguably have been there, and they are of constitutional gravity, even if not in the Constitution, arguably been there forever, but for sure they were underscored and underlined and passed into law post-Watergate, when we learned, a terrible lesson. And fortunately, we're able to elude the fall of the republic. It's a remarkable testament to the strength of the constitutional democracy that a president is forced out of office and the army doesn't march, or the Constitution stands. And ever since Watergate, at least, every attorney general nominee has been made to pledge by Republicans and Democrats alike that they won't be beholden to the White House. They won't be the Roy Cohn whose job is done not according to the facts and law and the rule of law, but just as a political servant of the person in the White House. Really, at that point, we are a banana republic. And what's so striking here is how overt and strident Trump is about it. Historically, when democracies have been eroded or even fallen, you've had charismatic leaders come into office promising to uphold the democratic and constitutional norms. Here you have Trump screaming like Mussolini, elect me so I can go in and absolutely tear down the established arm's length between the Department of Justice and the White House, make prosecutorial decisions precisely what they aren't now, but the Republicans are complaining that they are a matter of just politics and the serving of the political fortunes, however base, however removed from the facts of whoever is in the White House. And of course, if the Constitution stood and we had democratic elections, then presumably the Democrats get in and they put everybody in jail. This is true banana republic stuff. And it's astonishing that he is shouting it from the rooftops. He's just saying, we know that one of the number one indictments of him, broadly speaking, in his first term, was all the efforts he made, only partially successful, to erode the critical space and independence between DOJ and the White House, how much pressure he put on it. And the DOJ held, for example, before January 6th, when he wanted to install his own lackey there, and everyone said they would resign. That is 100% in the lineage and the legacy of Watergate, and it's now what we did in response to Watergate. And he's now saying flat out, that is what I'll eviscerate. That is what I'll take a blowtorch to. By the way, of course, including the crimes of the Biden family, which are being investigated at their behest and don't seem to amount to much. So, completely bogus on the facts, but that is so much the smaller part of it. I'm reminded of Justice Scalia's dissent, which has proven the test of time in the independent counsel case, who said this wolf comes as a wolf. Not in sheep's clothing. You have Trump outright saying, I'm going to get in there and I'm just going to, abuse the criminal justice power at my disposal to hound my political opponent. The very thing, ironically, that he's saying inaccurately is happening now to him. It is really toxic stuff. It redoubles the stakes and makes it all the, it puts a even more terrifying gloss on the possibility that he could actually win the election. Talk about once burned and twice shy. We saw him try to do it after he was elected. Now he's saying, I'll go further and just tear down the walls that protect liberty. Wow. Okay, so amazingly express, and we'll see how the electorate responds to it. But for people with respect for the Constitution and any sobriety about the lessons of Watergate, it's flat out terrifying. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.